We should be going live very shortly. And I'm going to do it this way. There we go. There we go. All right. Here we are. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Please welcome my guest apprentice for Halo, which is Starling, a.k.a. if you want to give your real name.
It's fine, Laurie. Hello, everybody.
Lori. Now, we're going to try something a little different tonight, too, because one of my guests is having a little bit of an issue joining. So if you are an actual teacher and you're interested in joining the panel, please send me a message on Discord at Koi Copyright. I'd like to have either another apprentice or a recently returned teacher so that we can have a really good discussion about the mechanics behind teaching, how it functions in the role play environment, and the duties and responsibilities of the players that are teacher characters, because that's obviously a very important part of what makes Underlight unique is the advancement system, which is done through interaction, social media, interacting with one another inside a game environment. Hey, Koi Scribble, how are you? Ron, how are you? For those in the chat that want to introduce their player names, please feel free to introduce your player name. Otherwise, you can remain anonymous. That is perfectly fine. All right. Let me shut this down. All right. So we're going to go into the game and meet inside, I'd say, the Library of Souls, and then we'll have an IC discussion in there so that we're not looking like crazy fools.
Sounds good.
Let's see. We're going to remember if I can share screen. Here we go. Share. I want to share app. Share. And agree. And yep. Boom. There we go. Let me get rid of the sound effects there. All right. So for those players that are new, this is the courtyard. This is the actual live area of the city once you get through the training area. Do the gatekeeper thing. Always put my arts on because you never know.
So smart.
It's the one thing Gaskell drilled into my head. Hey, Scott, how are you doing? Okay, so one thing I do want to do, I know this is an Underlight stream. I do want to give a small shout out to another game content creator. It's not a it's not a role playing game per se. It's a text based game, point and click, but it's by the name of Shimler, and I'm hoping to do some co-branding with him. He has a really good player base. And when the game goes through updates or downtime or stuff like that, it'd be really cool for them to come over and play some Underlight for a couple of hours while he works on his game. So Shimler.com for those interested. Lots of different things you can do over there. And the creator of that game is called Scott. And I want to just say thank you to him for treating me well all the time. I really appreciate it. All right, now back to our scheduled programming. All right. Oh, look at the pinky. My apprentice has got her pinky.
So excited. Such an honor.
Awesome. I think I've only done like 3 apprentices in my entire time of gaming. So basically, for those who don't know and those who do know, Starling was my apprentice. She's technically still my apprentice, just like I'm my mentor's apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been, what is it? 1, 2, 3, almost 4 months, right?
Let's see. Yep. February, March, April, May, June. Yep. Uh-huh.
Look at that.
I have to count on my fingers. That's horrible. I know. For everything.
Well, you did really good. And I knew you were going to pass.
Oh my goodness. Well, I had a great mentor. I mean, like
No,
just
I
a
didn't.
great team.
Didn't I didn't know the first thing I was doing.
Okay, well, Starling's gonna have to be sappy because she hasn't seen Gola since, and she's super excited. So you'll have to forgive her.
Oh, you can do whatever you want. All right. Let's see here. Hold on, I got to bring up the app on my phone here. That way I'm not missing anything. And of course, I've got to mute it. There we go. Live chat. Always fun. Here we go. All right. Hello, Koi Cipher. Welcome to the live stream. Get that going. All right. Okay. Get into this chat here. If I can even access it. Oh, there we go. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get this other guest into the Hangouts here.
Three's a party.
3 is always a party. Let's see here. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to pop right out of here for a second here. All right. I'm sharing that for a minute.
That's like a million window screens.
Yeah, that's a fun time. I knew I should have started this earlier. I automatically assume everybody knows how to join Hangouts.
I mean, I've only gotten better because you've taught me over the last few times. So again, still teaching me, always teaching me.
Did you just mute yourself?
Yes, I had to clear my throat. I didn't think everybody wanted to hear that.
Now it sounds like you have a fan.
I mean, I do, but
That's too funny.
I can turn it off.
All right. All right. Back in the screen here. All right. So this one's actually having issues joining. So I'm going to see if we can get maybe get a GM inside the game and see if we can do a cross of IC in-game discussion and OOC with us discussion on the actual Hangouts. That way we can get both sides. Hmm. All right. So basically, the very first teaching area for us that we're going to have access to, both as teachers and players, is going to be this area here, which is the library of souls. One of the most popular teachers that actually uses this area a lot is Lady Silver and I believe Wraith. Hey, look at that! It's a cyborg. And basically, teaching has overgone a lot of changes over time. Um, there's an elder right there. Bring the thing back up here. All right. There we go. Alrighty, here we go. So I've got the for those listening, I've got the Hangouts open on my smaller device. That way I can share the screen here. And that's not exactly how I wanted to share the screen, so whatever. Should be sharing the window, but it is what it is. All right. So basically, Acadian is the head elder when it comes to teaching. So in game, he's the big cheese. Pretty much, he gives the masters a good amount of free reign to be able to do things the way that they want to do it, as long as they have some sort of plan and they've gone through him about it, and he's like blessed it off. One of the more significant changes with train right now, which is the biggest thing, is that teachers have the ability, after getting blessed off by Acadian, to actually train other teachers in train once they've been teachers. So, for instance, Starling being a new teacher, you don't have to go to an elder for your train tasks. You can go to other teachers.
That's awesome. That definitely opens, widens the spectrum. So that's great.
It was much needed. And at this point, I think the teachers and the players were ready for that kind of a change. It's getting to the point where the elders are pretty much going to be more of a oversight than anything else, because it's going to be in the players' hands.
That's so cool. And that's one of my favorite aspects of it is teaching player always.
Yep.
In addition to, of course, the elder teaching players, which is great too. But that way, you can have the master teachers might be playing when the elders aren't playing, and you're not hurt for trying to progress and advance. And it definitely makes the players feel hugely important to have that opportunity to do that. So
It puts them in control of their history.
And
that's the big thing.
It does. And it gives you a growth path. So, and no matter what you're doing in life, that's awesome to have.
So what I've asked the elder to do is to kind of give us a tour of the teaching areas. Now, the OOC portion of what we'll be discussing on the panel here is the mechanics behind teaching and how it relates to the players, and how we as players use that tool, that role play tool, as a way of not only advancing our own role play, but the role play of the dreamers and players around us. So one thing I do want to talk about, since I have you here, Starling, is questing, which we called tasking in our time, but now they're called quests. The quest, the importance behind a quest. Now, as a player that's never played this game before, they've gone through the courtyard, they've gone through the training area, they're in the courtyard. It doesn't really discuss teaching and training per se too much in that area. So let's give a little discussion about that and how it works, and the importance behind it for potential players that want to come in and start playing Underlight.
Okay. So just like as a player coming in and looking for quests. So without, you're right. Basically, I feel like the way that the players learn about it, first and foremost, is from other players. Usually, if you're a new player called Newly Awakened or New Dreamer that starts playing, you're going to be sought out, hopefully, and most likely by experienced players. And they're going to give you the rundown of the general things about the city, about your arts, about teachers, and about questing for new arts that are available to you, and also plateauing arts that you have existing, depending upon what level you are, what orbit, what sphere, where you are. So it's pretty awesome in that, you get to find that out from somebody else. So they get to explain that to you and say, this is kind of, these are the halos that you look for, the colors based on your focus. And if you're with Lady Silver, she'll tell you every single teacher that has that particular color of halo, which is awesome. And then most people will try also, so that way you can add those teachers to your locate and go to them for specific quests based on your focus. So once you say, okay, I have spoken with someone, now I have an idea of what a quest looks like or is like, and who I would need to get that quest from, whether or not they have a halo, what color their halo is, what my focus is, then you can seek out that individual and ask for a quest. And the teacher will talk to you. So hopefully spend some time getting to know you, even if you're a new player, to see what your interests might be, what you already know, maybe what you don't know, what you might have some help, what they could help facilitate, learning or growth for you, and write up a quest that may be of interest to you and also teach you as a player more about the game and more about kind of where to take your character and how to further your character. And also spend some time with you, telling you about the art specifically, or even teaching you about the art, taking you somewhere in the game and teaching you about the art. You take that quest, and once you've gone through the steps to complete it, sometimes there also will be an opportunity for interaction, hopefully with other players, to give you an opportunity to know them as well. And you report that quest back to the teacher for either the learned art or the plateau of the art.
It's awesome. Now, there's two specific changes I want to talk about. One is Flame and Blade can be tasked and granted by any Halo teacher now. So it doesn't have to be the same focus anymore. So that kind of helps out because there's limited abilities for the amount of Fate Senders and I think Soul Masters. I think we have a lot of Gatekeepers and Dream Seers.
Yes. Yes, that's so great. That's so great. And it makes sense, because everybody has Flame and everybody has Blade.
Exactly. And they're fundamentally the same. The only difference is the Gatekeepers have a stronger Flame and Blade based on their focus and their focus art level. So that's the only difference between the Flames. The other thing is for new players, new dreamers, the first two spheres or first two levels of 10 and 20 are interview spheres, which means after performing a various amount of exploration with either the teacher that's going to spear you or somebody that they've assigned to you, you'll get a tour of the city, an explanation of the arts, an explanation of the foci, an explanation of the house beliefs, the structures, the leadership structures, how they work, elders, master teachers, apprentices. You'll go through a whole realm of different things in the first few days of your dreaming that will get you your first two spheres. From then on out, you'll have to task or quest for them. by going to teachers with halos. For sphere, you can go to any teacher with a halo. For arts, some of them you have to specifically go to a specific colored halo, depending on if the art's a major or a minor. So this is the room that you had access to when you were apprentice, correct?
Yes, it sure is.
All right, good. And this is all apprentices can go in here, or was it focused specific too?
All apprentices.
Okay.
Because I remember Apophos would be in here at the same time as Starling, and I'm sure Nathan and Magnum, who are also apprenticing, could come in here as well.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was trying to get Magnum on, but work was in the way for him. Real life obviously takes precedence over a game. But he is also a great apprentice to have on. Did he go through the interview process yet, or is he still apprenticing?
He is still apprenticing. He is tasking on his own now, which I think he had been for a little bit, but I think there was kind of some mix up in his mentorship, but I think that got all straightened up. And so now he's getting ready for his interview soon.
He's always been very a slow, methodical kind of a teacher / tasker anyway. Everything he does is very well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked writing his tasks for things I could task him for. All right. Let me send a quick message to this person. And so basically what the elder is doing is taking us to all the different teaching rooms that we have or will or can eventually gain access to depending on where our path lays in the game. All right. Crap. No. All right. All right. I sent a link to somebody else since my other guests couldn't get on. Actually, one of these days, I know they're listening. I would like to see Rafe in a live panel. That person is actually extremely intelligent. I don't realize if people realize the character is so detailed.
Mm-hmm.
But we've had numerous discussions, both my player character and their player character, about quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and stuff. As far as goal is role play around the planar creationists go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always been kind of cool to talk with that one.
Yeah, and the detail behind her history, if you talk to her at length behind the history, the shard, and just kind of why the character responds the way the character does, and certain things. So much thought, you're right, put into everything.
Yep. Oh, the best teaching room of all. Wish would have a argument with that, but still. Actually, I think it's a tie between Dreamstairs and Soul Masters as far as decor goes.
Oh, well, I'm excited to see those then.
Yeah, that's the other reason why I'm glad we're doing this, because I want players or potential players to be able to see the details behind. These are dev and player created combination rooms. These are people like us who have sent suggestions, comments, or role played various things, and this is the accumulation of those those things, you know. So clearly the Namoto is a hardcore role player who apparently does not like being teleported around.
No, no. He has a hard time with those arts, and sometimes a lot of people too. But awesome role player, awesome. I mean,
Oh
like the
yeah.
fact that you know that about his character to me is like, so
Yep.
so great.
I pay attention.
Yeah, and he makes it to where you notice, you pick up, with everything too. So does a great job. But that's I like what you were saying about the ideas for the rooms are player suggested and coordinated teamwork makes the dream work. Haha.
Uh-huh.
Nice focus
I
pad.
see. Cyborg found it already. Oh yeah, this elder is really good with his teleport and
Yeah.
summon. Now, what I love about this room is that mural right there.
Looking. Oh, wow.
That is some serious detail right there
Yeah,
for just a simple picture on a wall.
that is great.
Love this. Oh, thank you, Koi Underlight. Koi Underlight says, "Great to see more live streams. Kudos." So that's good.
That central design. That is awesome. It is a word. That's so cool.
What's that?
Thank you for pointing that out, Acadian. Talking about this room is very earthy and contains a ward as its central design.
Ah, well, it does make sense. It's kind of interesting. I like. So, what was the first thing you did once you became officially a teacher?
Quested Gorgonson. Let's
You
see, that
didn't
was
you didn't go into your hall?
no. The sad part is I hadn't done that yet. So now I'm
You're about to go see it now.
Yay! I know. I kept thinking to myself, okay, I need to go do that. I need to go do that. And it's funny because right before that, I also Sterling got Fifth Sphere. So it's kind of like, okay, now let me go to all the places they can go to with Fifth Sphere. And that has kind of been like, all over the place. And then it's like, okay, now I'm going to go to the places I can go to as teacher. So all these new worlds.
Oh, I love
My
this room.
goodness, this room is awesome.
A little lava flow going with the half crescent moon.
Perfect.
So this must be your lucidity pad right here. Give it a test and see if it is.
Okay.
What can you use in here? Trail, I think.
Yeah.
We're bloodsuckers. I just snorted too because that was just funny. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Because that lucidity is just going right back up.
All right, perfect. That's interesting. Once you're in the room, the other portals will spin for you because I can see the Master Hall portal spinning.
Me too. No, not the master. I can't. I'm sorry. I can only see the portal to get out.
Really? I must be able to see it because I'm a master.
I bet that's it.
Interesting. One of the one of the other good things about these rooms is that each one is going to contain information in it for that specific apprentice and or teacher level.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Well, this doesn't look like a dungeon at all.
I don't know what you're saying about Fate Senders now.
Right? Kind of interesting.
Oh, and that mural on the wall there is pretty haunting.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of looks like an old style version of a druid, or what are they, not druid, what were they called? Oh god, I can't even, necromancer. There we go. This is really cool, man. See, now this is something that new players won't necessarily get to see, or people thinking of playing. So this gives them kind of an idea of things to aspire for.
There does. And existing players. But yeah, I know the audience for this is new players, but yeah, both. I mean,
Could be Renrutneck on the wall.
yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, oh, what's that guy's name when you go to the Citadel and the Lucidity pad is there?
Necky. Necky. All right, so we talked a little bit about questing. We talked a little bit about, okay, so tell me, how about this? Let's talk a little bit about apprenticing. What was that like for you?
It was very exciting. It was the opportunity to get creative. You know, I mean, obviously you already have the opportunity to get creative anyway, but it's a creativity on a different level, or creativity geared with a little bit of a different twist, because you're not only having the opportunity to be creative as your character, but you're having the opportunity to facilitate creativity with someone else or for someone else. So, which is really neat, and to help, knowing that you're helping potentially push their dreams, you know, for them to discover more, learn more, potentially be more, and having the opportunity to get to know other players that maybe you might not have interacted with before necessarily, depending on who your circle was, yep, in the area that you play. So that was fun. And also when, you know, with your mentor too, to kind of see how they think and what they do and pick up a lot from them, but make sure that you teach, you don't want to be identical to them. You want to be your own flavor, you know? So, yeah, but you still want to take some from them, because obviously they're wonderful and brilliant, but you know, you want to shape that and mold it in your own way as well. So
my approach as a mentor is, I guess it's a little different than most. I'm not as hands-on as some of the other apprentices or mentors are. I kind of give the bylaws, like here are the rules you need to follow. Here's how you need to quest. These are the areas it needs to contain. What you come up with from there is kind of on you. I just kind of look. If it looks like it's if it's fair, I'm like, that sounds like a good quest. Go with it. The goal is to see what obviously, again, it's a role-playing tool. What is the imagination level of the apprentice? How much of it can they come up with on their own? How much of it are they included with the student that they're trying to write the quest for? Mm-hmm. Are they getting to know the person? Are they following up with it? And are they really listening to the reports? Because as you know, some of your questers that came and reported to me with a completion codex, I would ask random questions, mm-hmm, just to see if if it was like an actual, like they really legitimately put work into it, or if it was kind of like we're just gonna wing it. Mm-hmm. And I think when it comes to between teaching, mentoring, apprenticing, and being a student, which we all are students first, it's important to understand that there is a balance of an OOC mechanic and an IC mechanic. The OOC aspect is we're responsible as players, as content creators for this game. We're responsible for ensuring that the game progresses fairly for all people, and that it adds to the environment of the role play. Not just our role play. Like Starling can't just write quests just for her own role play. The goal is to facilitate the growth of other people's role plays as well. that's where the OOC support mechanism comes in. The Halo is a tool to facilitate growth for role plays. So just kind of add that little tidbit.
Love it.
Hall of Resilience.
It's beautiful.
So yeah, I was talking to Magnum and I was thinking, he said Wednesday is a good day for him to do a stream. So I'm thinking of having him do the Fate Center walkthrough. What do you think of that?
That would be perfect. He's been Fate Center forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is why I said it's a tier. It's a tier between the Hall of Resilience and the Hall of Insight because they both have a really good, detailed room. Obviously, Dream Seers with all the thinking that they do.
Oh my goodness.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Oh, hey, there's a telescope. Pretty cool.
Miniature version of what we have in the Alliance.
Yeah.
Love it. Isn't it nice how their room is kind of like a mirage?
Yeah.
It looks like you can't get into it, but you step on that little blinking thing over there and boom.
Oh my goodness, that's great.
There you are.
A lot of creativity went into this.
Yeah. Got to give it up for the developers and the players that work to get this done. I love this room. Like I said, it's it's one of those things. I can't have everything nice as a gatekeeper, I guess.
Well, we appreciate your sharing.
All right.
Who is on the walls in this one?
That, I believe, are the Trinities.
Oh.
The trio.
I was like, they almost look like ladies, but maybe they're just beautiful men.
I think the Trinities were ladies, weren't they? Not
the Trinity brothers, right?
No, not the Trinity brothers.
Not to be confused. My bad.
I think there was the Trinity brothers and the Trinities.
Okay. A lot of Trinity going on. I mean, but I guess that makes sense. That plane is huge, so.
I've always known them that mural because there's one in the Threshold pits. I think as you're heading to the arena, I want to say.
I think you're right. Mm-hmm.
And I think it was always referred to as the Trinities. Yeah, the Quay Underlight says the Trinities are everywhere. Special ed Psy. Cyborg has not changed in years. I love the character. He's kind of a crass, old school gatekeeper. Thing of him and Boggin were like huge friends, I think. You remember? Did you ever meet Boggin in your younger days?
Oh, the name sounds so familiar, so maybe.
He spoke with like a lisp, so like everything was like echoed.
That's awesome.
That takes talent right there.
Yeah, it does. You have to put a lot of thought into every single thing you say.
Yep.
I mean, I'm like half and half, right? Like sometimes I'm thinking about what I say, but that's like no, that's like yeah, talent.
Yeah, so basically this room is this is one of our newer rooms. This is the master
Wow.
teaching hall. And this is where the master teachers meet with if he is available, Acadian or one of the designatees. That sounds like somebody's joined us. They just dropped something.
That room is awesome. This guy, pretty amazing.
Yeah. So before this room was created, we were meeting in the library or various other rooms, and it was basically where we started discussing the teaching changes that went into effect that you see today. The ability to teach Flame and Blade, the ability to give quests to your apprentices once they're ready to be an official apprentice, more reign over ability to task for train and other teachers, et cetera, et cetera. And I guess the teaching charter, which is either A, done or being done, one of those. So what I want to do, since I wasn't able to get one of the elders into the panel here, I'm going to ask Seeley the questions I want to ask, and then you and I can discuss them. Seeley.
Okay.
So the first question I asked him, which is probably a question that everybody's always going to want to know, is where do the elders see master teachers as it relates to teaching? Is it the goal to see us have less need for elders at some point? And if so, do you think we can get there? So one of the biggest byproducts of teaching, there's going to be that animosity and bias when you have IC rifts, you know what I'm saying? Wars, for instance. Let's say like HC is going to war with OSM. Obviously, those two teachers aren't going to be tasking each other to make each other stronger because that wouldn't make any sense.
You're correct.
Where an elder would, though.
Right.
So at some point, where do the masters fit in? What line? When are we going to be ready to do the kind of things that elders can do? Which, because Gola's role play has always been, we should be able to do what they do by now after 20 years. But the problem is we're missing something. We dreamers are missing something that the elders possess. And what is that element? Is it the unbiased element? Is it the, whatever?
And what do you have to do to achieve it? Right.
And what I like about Acadian's answers is that he's always very diplomatic about it. He's very, very I mean, he has a line he does not cross as a both as an elder and as a teacher, and even as a player. Because again, remember, he's still a player too.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that he takes to importance is teaching, because it is a very core fundamental tool for both the GM team, elders, and the players, us.
Mm-hmm.
What we do with it. Everyone gets a Trinity. Love it. All right, so if you have a question, Starling, since you're in here, feel free to type it as in character to Acadian.
Okay. I was going to do Family Feud and be like, good answer, you know, when they all go down the line. But then Cyborg made me laugh. So.
Oh my God. He obviously doesn't know about flight yet. So what he said diplomatically is basically what I'm saying, which is we have to be more confident in ourselves and proactive in our fellow teachers' growth.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want carbon copies either. You know, I like how Purple Lace teaches. I like how Rafe teaches. I like how Lady Silver teaches. But I don't want to see 5 Lady Silvers. I don't want to see 5 Starlings. I don't want to see 5 Golas. You know, I want to see people develop, because your role play, your character's definition of who they are, should represent some of your teaching. It should be shown in that.
And that's part of what makes it fun too, to quest from multiple players, you know, because you get quests that are a little bit different, geared in a different way, but still very thought-provoking and still character motivating.
Oh yeah, if you ask Cyborg about Ward and ask Golo about Ward, I guarantee you're going to get 2 different answers. Mostly because Cyborg's just Cyborg. I mean, he's and see, now what he's basically saying here, if you think about it, master teachers, we need multiple teachers in order to advance ourselves. If we are to truly use the Halo the way it's supposed to be used, we need to interact with multiple teachers. So by raising the teachers' arts up, we in turn raise ourselves up, and then that allows us to obviously raise the people around them.
That's brilliant.
A lot of thought went into the teaching system, and I think that that's one of the core callings for this game. And since I wasn't able to get the other GM on here, I do have one GM here who should know just as much about the teaching system as I do, if not more. Please welcome Koi Drama. So basically, our teaching system is the only thing in existence as far as RPGs go today. Is that correct, Drama? Because I haven't seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is the aspect that it requires you to interact with other players. It's not a hack and slash level until you can't go no more kind of a game. Oh, I'm glad Rafe's getting to this. So Rafe asked a question for those who can't read the chat on the YouTube screen. Is she asked us, do you see more multiple Halo Kalos like Wishmaster? I think she means Wishbringer. Or will he continue to be unique? And again, Acadian gives that very diplomatic answer. Because we have no idea how many more people will eventually have that Halo. I mean, even as players, we don't know. I mean, it could become an in-game eventual thing. Who knows? Cyborg made a good point too.
Yeah, kind of tying back to what you were talking about earlier with houses being at war.
Yeah, and you know, in the early days of Underlight, where the population was so high, it was more likely that you could find a task from anywhere. You didn't have to go. Today, because it's such a small committed community, there are teachers who will task you, even if they hate your guts, simply because it benefits them. Because they'll need you down the road too. Yeah. And that's really that's if Drama can correct me if I'm wrong, that's the OOCIC line that you kind of have to walk when it comes to being a teacher, because you got to think of it as like a mini GM, which is your character may have this IC reason to do these things, but from an OOC aspect, you're still kind of want to see the person advance themselves. So it's like for instance, if Gola and Starling hated each other, but Angelo and Laurie like each other, you know, it's like there's that line. What do you think, Drama? Is that as close as I can explain it?
Somewhat, yes. I mean, you're correct in when the GM position, a teaching position is sort of like a mini GM position, because there's that level of responsibility and trust that goes into that whole aspect of the system. So, yeah, I mean, there's always going to be that fine OCC in character line where you kind of have to determine, like, the motives behind certain things. But for the most part, there's a lot of oversight that goes into that. But yeah, you're someone on the hill on that.
Like, I want to be able to do this, but how can I do this correctly for my character to make it make sense?
Exactly. Now in the early days, we used to do it on the down low. Today, it's a lot harder to do, especially since, you know, I mean, how many gatekeepers have a level 70 train? How many soul masters have a level 70 train? And how did this person get a level 70 task for award? It's gonna kind of get people are gonna kind of figure out. Now, Gola has always been pretty open about how he tasks and why he does what he does, and that has a lot to do with the fact that he had some really phenomenal, you know, mentors for Halo coming up. And some of them were his enemies. You know, I had people from DOL, Munchkin, Valorian. I had people from OSM, Guard Dog, and Ladybug. I had certain GMs were very proactive in those days before teachers started taking over. So I had a couple of GM mentors, and it was a very serious process of mentoring for a Halo. And it kind of drilled into you that it's not just yours. It belongs to the city, you know, kind of a thing. That's the IC thing. The Halo belongs to the city. Okay, so let's see. I got another question for Katie. But one of the things, maybe we should begin with sprint. Actually, I still haven't learned that thing. Hey, wait, you have sprint now, don't you?
Not yet.
Damn it.
Sorry.
You need to learn that. So you can task your former mentor. That'd be funny.
That would be awesome. No, I was like, hang on. The Sphere Fate Cinder, Firestorm.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
But
That
I'll get on that.
that
That would be great.
that art is super nasty now, man. That thing is nasty. I don't want nothing to do with Firestorm or Raise the Wind.
Oh, come on. You have to live a little.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer.
He's so literal. It drives me nuts.
I love
But
it.
I do too. He's probably one of the better elder leads or teaching leads that I've ever seen before. So I like that. Or whatever his position is as the elder is. I think he's the lead, like teaching elder, right? Yeah, something like that.
Correct. He's the teaching lead out of character, and he's the lead master teacher
There we go.
in character, if that makes sense.
Yep. Drove me nuts. Drove me nuts. which is what they're supposed to do. Ultimately, it's because he wants you to think, though. I mean, he really does.
Yeah. Very respectful, very calculated, very thoughtful.
So, when you had your final interview, how was it? Just him, or did they have other elders there?
Him and Lady Silver was there as well.
Oh, very good. So you survived Lady Silver and Acadian. I'm surprised you don't have two halos.
Oh, I mean, I have the opportunity to interact with so many great master teachers all the time just because of the crowd that Starling hangs around. So, that was definitely an advantage too in mentoring. And I say that, like you had said too, when Starling said, "Hey, will you please mentor me?" Gola was like, "Okay, but you should talk to other master teachers and see, if you can have a second or a third or something like that to help you, especially with a different focus." And so in that, I kind of just latched on to any knowledge or information I could gain from any of the other master teachers or teachers in general, just kind of creating some tasks and bouncing them off of them and doing a lot of that. So it was just a great experience overall. And so having her there too kind of made it like, okay, I'm going to stop biting my fingernails as much. I can feel a little bit more at ease. So.
I wanted you to have the same availability of people that I had when I was mentoring, 20 years ago. And the reason for that is because with the ability to be dual focused now, I mean, someday down the road, you may become 8th or 9th spear and choose a second focus. The more you know about the other focus arts and how to task for them, the better, because you'll eventually be able to do that too.
Yeah. And that was brilliant. And I know that's the way that Gola would give Starling a lot of, okay, now create a task for this one. And it was just either a gatekeeper art major, that I was like, oh gosh, okay, let me think about this, so, but that was brilliant.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things is like you can't just learn from one person, because the fundamental thing to understand here is that we're always going to be a student. That's the thing. We are always going to be students.
And we're always teaching each other. Or have the opportunity to, at least.
Love this. All right, so let me think here. Very helpful. Let's end with this. If you had a message you could send to possible new dreamers, what would it be? Boom. Now, see, it's hard to try to ask something you want an answer OOC-ly, but IC-ly have to ask it. But I ain't messing with this elder, so screw that. I'll keep it as IC as possible. Dude, to sling a 70 at me. Yep, that's a good answer. Well, good answer, Starling.
Aw, thanks.
Very polite. What I would say to new players is definitely read the Underlight wiki, read the forums, come into our Discord. The link is in the bottom of the channel here. Visit our store if you're already a player. I know there happens to be somebody on this panel that did go shopping recently.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Visit the store. It is a 100% free to play, 100% free to download. It is player driven, player created. We have a wonderful team of volunteer GMs that dedicate time to ensure that the game gets updated, that the game runs smoothly, that the players have support where they need it, when they need it. We're always evolving the team to ensure that we're meeting and reaching the maximum of support that we can give with the capabilities that we have. And we do appreciate the players, the patience that they have given us over the years, the supports that they request, the emails that they use. Remember Underlight Chronicles. One thing I do want to talk about before we end, and in case Drama wants to say something before we go to Underlight Chronicles, you guys have been phenomenal supporting that. We thank you so much. It's a great IC paper. I would like to take it to the next stage, which is create kind of a live stream dialogue of the paper. Maybe get some players to play Dreamer reporters that will kind of give commentary both IC-ly in the game and come up on panel and talk OOC-ly the aspect of that article. Kind of a combine of two things with one bird sort of a thing. So please, if you have suggestions for that or you want to participate in that, you can contact me on Discord at Koi Copyright, or you can email marketing@underlight.com, and we will be happy to set something up. Again, Magnum, if you have tuned in, I am looking forward to doing a stream with you this Wednesday. We will call it the Fate Sender Focus Walkthrough. And,
can't wait to watch it.
Oh boy.
If you are a Fate Sender and would like to join Magnum on that panel, by all means, you know how to contact me the same way. Koi Copyright on the Discord, or marketing@underlight.com. Drama, anything you'd like to end us with before we close this stream?
Sure. I just want to tell everybody to stay tuned. We're going to be having a lot of exciting things coming up in the near future as we move forward with the project. Hopefully, we'll be having a fireside chat Also, we have a patch that's coming out with a lot of new exciting features, both a little from Lyra's old days and Shades of Truth days. I can't discuss too much about it, but stay tuned for that. And that's really it. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here. Also, for those who have provided their honest feedback, we do appreciate it. We encourage more honest feedback. We encourage more feedback, period, you know what I'm saying, so that we can, move forward. And we are really interested in listening to our players.
Definitely.
So I think, I mean, and again, like, there was a good survey that was out recently, and we've been able to glean a lot of information from that. And again, we appreciate our players for being honest with us, and for Michael Akobas, who basically made it possible. So again, thank you.
Yep. All right. And yes, big thanks to Michael. We do
Yeah.
need to do a stream with Michael at some point because I know he likes to walk through stuff too. I'd like to do a dev walkthrough stream with him though. But we live in very, very odd time zones. Starling, anything
Yes.
you'd like to close with?
Thank you for the opportunity to do another stream, especially on teaching, which is something that I'm still newer, obviously, than everybody else who is a great legendary teacher. And so this was very exciting for me to grasp and talk with even more. And also to have the opportunity to speak about this for new potential players. So I'm very excited about everything that's going on and everything that is yet to come. So.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And remember, if you want to participate in our first ever live Underlight Chronicles stream as a reporter, please remember to email me at marketing@underlight.com. Visit our store. It's in the links. Everybody, happy dreaming. Have a great night.
All right, we're off this, John.